Aboard Space Shuttle Columbia, 7 astronauts prepare for re-entry. After 16 days in orbit, their mission has proceeded as planned and they are coming home. But an overlooked problem will turn out far worse than NASA anticipated, something they knew about all along. This is the story of the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster, one of the most sombre moments in space exploration history. The 1st of February 2003, the southern United States. NASA's Space Shuttle Columbia is due to land shortly past 9 o'clock in the morning. It has just completed its mission, called STS-107, a 16-day-long dedicated science flight, where a number of experiments and research were carried out in zero gravity. They are about to re-enter the atmosphere and land at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The Space Shuttle fleet consists of 4 reusable low Earth orbital spacecraft. The vehicle consists of the shuttle itself, as well as a fuel tank and a pair of solid rocket boosters, which it sheds during launch. On landing, it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere and glides unpowered, where it lands like an aircraft. Columbia is the first operational space shuttle. It made its first flight in April 1981. The background of mission STS-107 began on the 16th of January, where the shuttle lifted off from Kennedy Space Center. On board are a crew of 7, Commander Rick Husband, Pilot William McCool, Mission Specialist David Brown, Mission Specialist Michael Anderson, Mission Specialist Laurel Clark, Flight Engineer Kalpana Chawla, and Payload Specialist Ian Raymond. All seemed routine during the launch until 2 days into the mission, when engineers reviewing the launch footage noticed something, a piece of debris which looked to be insulation foam from the shuttle's orange external fuel tank. It has hit the leading edge of the left wing, but due to the angle, they cannot tell from the footage alone if it has done any damage. Foam strikes like this aren't uncommon, but they have been known on occasion to cause minor damage. Some want to assess whether any damage has been caused and request high-resolution satellite imagery to inspect the wing in orbit, but they are overridden. Management believes the risk is minimal. Even if there is any, there would be no way to repair it while in space anyway. It is considered to be a maintenance issue rather than a safety issue. It will be inspected once the shuttle has landed. Safety is something on many people's minds during shuttle missions, especially during launch, as 17 years before, in 1986, Space Shuttle Challenger exploded shortly after lifting off, resulting in the loss of all astronauts on board. The cause was found to be a flaw in one of the solid rocket boosters, which was identified and fixed within a couple of years. The mission proceeds normally, with Columbia orbiting Earth for 16 days. On the 1st of February, Columbia begins its descent over the Pacific Ocean. They angle its nose upward, its belly facing Earth, where it will begin penetrating the atmosphere for re-entry. As Columbia meets the atmosphere at around 17,500 miles per hour, about 25 times the speed of sound, or Mach 25, a tremendous amount of friction builds quickly. Superheated gas forms around the vehicle, glowing against the blackness of space. From the perspective of mission control, things appear to be going normally. They are in contact with the crew, who report everything going to plan so far. Then, a number of sensors in the left wing begin to fail. This doesn't necessarily mean the shuttle is in any danger, and sensors can go offline for a number of reasons. It is thought to be an anomaly. But soon after, communication with the astronauts is cut off and mission control stops receiving data from the orbiter. At 9 AM above Texas, people who had come out early to get a glimpse of the shuttle as it re-enters the atmosphere are met with the horrifying sight of it breaking apart. Multiple streaks light up the morning sky, each one a chunk of wreckage. There is no hope for the astronauts. Debris rains down, scattering hundreds of miles across Texas and Louisiana. Luckily, no one on the ground is hit. In the aftermath, the United States grounds the entire shuttle fleet. Recovery teams made up of individuals from police officers to the National Guard comb through mile upon mile of area on the debris path to retrieve as much of the wreckage as possible. The Columbia Accident Investigation Board is assembled, consisting of both military and civilian analysts, and immediately gets to work. An amount of data was already broadcast to the ground from the shuttle itself, including the temperature sensors recording high readings before dropping out, hinting at the possibility that superheated gases from outside the shuttle had somehow penetrated into the left wheel well. But to confirm this, they need more data. The investigators receive a stroke of luck. As this was Columbia, the first operational shuttle built, it was unique in that it was equipped with an experimental data recorder, which featured over 800 sensors to measure comprehensive temperature, pressure, and vibration readings throughout the vehicle. The recorder on the space shuttle is not unlike a flight data recorder on a commercial airliner, colloquially known as a black box. However, there is one critical difference between a flight recorder and that on the shuttle. The recorder aboard Columbia is not designed to survive a crash, and does not feature any kind of protective casing, so it is not known if it would have had any chance of remaining intact. The searchers eventually locate it, and amazingly, it has survived, and the data is able to be extracted. What it tells them is surprising. Instead of the heat entering the wheel well where the sensor dropouts occurred, it had in fact originated from around the leading edge of the wing. They focus in on the incident that happened on liftoff, where a piece of insulating material detached and struck the wing, the incident that had been brought up but deemed not to be a threat to the mission. After enhancing the footage, they trace the approximate location of where the debris would have struck the wing, and conduct a series of tests where they use a gun normally for launching whole chickens at aircraft to simulate bird strikes, to launch a block of foam at shuttle wing leading edge panels. While providing substantial heat protection, they are not made to provide structural strength, so could be vulnerable to debris hitting them at high speed. They get their answer. The foam block does cause them to rupture. It is concluded that a piece of foam detaching from the external tank struck the leading edge of the wing, making a hole, which on re-entry allowed hot gases to enter the wing, damaging its internal structure, leading to the loss of control and breakup of the shuttle. When this is realised, there is one last question to be answered. Could anything have been done to save the astronauts if the damage had been discovered before re-entry? A rescue mission would technically have been possible, involving using another shuttle to be launched ASAP to dock with Columbia, a series of spacewalks to transfer the crew to the other craft, then remotely pilot Columbia to re-enter and break up over the ocean, where it would be disposed of safely. Replacement of the panel wouldn't be possible in space, and the shuttle requires a pilot on board to land. In response to the loss of Columbia, the design of the external fuel tank is modified, and the shuttle's remote-controlled arm was equipped with a camera so they could use it to inspect for damage on board, as well as temperature sensors being installed in each shuttle's wings for on-board use, among other improvements. The Space Shuttle fleet would remain grounded until July 2005, when Discovery would return to flight, before they were eventually retired in 2011. If you enjoyed this documentary and found it interesting, give the video a like for the time and effort I put into making it, and subscribe if you want to see new episodes as soon as I upload them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.